It's May 15th, which means Pacific hurricane season has officially begun. And thanks to a brewing El Nino as a possibility, we could have an historic one on our hands as a possibility. We'll see what happens. Who better to give us a preliminary outlook, though, is Fox Weather's hurricane specialist, Bryan Norcross. Bryan, great to talk to you again. I haven't talked to you yet this year. It's good to see you, my friend.
Hey, Bob, good to see you, and happy Eastern Pacific hurricane season, even though really nothing's going on at the moment. But toward the end of the month, as you and Ian were talking about, toward the end of the month or maybe around the 1st of June, we may see something going on in the Eastern Pacific. I'll show you why here in just a second.
Yeah, it sure will.
All right, take a look at Yeah, it will be. It will be. The mechanism is there, and there are some things in the pipeline. So we're talking about the Eastern Pacific now. That's this area here off of Mexico. Doesn't include the water south of Hawaii, by the way. That goes to June 1st for the beginning of that hurricane season. That's called the Central Pacific, up to the international date line. And, of course, the Atlantic begins on the 1st of June. But here in the Eastern Pacific, it starts early in this area right here. And why is that, you say? Well, it's because the upper level winds get more conducive earlier in the year than they do in the Atlantic or in the Central Pacific. So that sets up an environment in the atmosphere that's conducive for the storms to develop. And also the ocean water warms up sooner. It's already very warm there. In the Atlantic, it takes longer because we still have very strong cold fronts coming south and other things that stir up the water to make the cold water underneath come to the surface. And so that combination keeps the Atlantic cooler later in the season than it does here in this pocket offshore of Mexico. And therefore, so not therefore so much, but the whole season starts earlier there and kind of ends earlier. It tends to taper off earlier in the year on average. So generally, things are shifted a little bit earlier there in the Eastern Pacific. And look at the storms that have developed there since 1950. 25 tropical storms and 19 hurricanes in this area right here. You notice most of them kind of head offshore, but a few have indeed had an impact, and even some up here moving north up into Baja, spraying moisture into Southern California and the Southwest U.S. And 4 of those were major hurricanes, Category 3 and above. Only one kind of threatened Mexico here, but it was a much weaker system when it got that far north. So in general, the strong storms are offshore out here if they develop. That's in May. All those things happen in May. All right, so here's where we are this year. Now, this year we have this big pool, it's not cool, big pool of warm water from California, Baja California, out to Hawaii. Now, this has nothing to do with El Nino. This is just a separate warm pool of water that occurs when the winds in the Pacific get a certain orientation and don't push the cold water as much farther south, and you get this big pool here. Well, the artifact of that is that it increases the heating of the atmosphere there, increases the moisture in the atmosphere, so that if we do get a storm in here, as you, Bob, and Ian were talking about, there's just more energy. Maybe it hangs together a little more as it moves north if it makes that kind of a turn. But there is going to be more humidity in the air, more moisture that would come north with any kind of monsoon activity later in the year, which we always get into the southwest. So we expect more moisture, higher humidities, and so forth on occasion here this summer season in the southwest. Also over here in Hawaii, any storm that comes along here is going to have warmer water than normal to deal with. Now, as we're talking about, this is just warmer than normal at this point. It is still May. It's early in the year. The water temperatures themselves are actually still too cool up in here to support anything tropical, but with all that extra warmth, you just get more moisture in the air and more energy in any system that does move north. But this whole kind of line here between the tropical waters to the south and the cooler waters to the north, that's just going to migrate north as we go through the summer season. And Hawaii, you see right on the edge of it now. So the waters around Hawaii look like they will be warmer than normal for this hurricane season. All right, now let's go down south to where the El Nino is developing. So that all that other talk has nothing to do with El Nino. The El Nino will just enhance the amount of warm water there if it develops as expected in this box here. Just scientific analysis says when this box gets extra warm, what that does is it puts energy into the air, warm air rises, what goes up has to come down, comes down over the Atlantic in part, also comes down over the Western Pacific, but it comes down and that tends to squash tropical activity in the Atlantic. So that's why we get fewer storms and generally storms that aren't as strong in the Atlantic when we have an El Nino. So an El Nino, again, warmer water here. The big question is, how warm is it going to get? We look at the computer models, and they're all into the El Nino territory. El Nino being 0.5 and above. There's the line for El Nino. But you notice they're up in here, which is up in the 2 degrees Celsius and above range. 2 degrees Celsius is called a strong, very strong El Nino, or colloquially a super El Nino. Does it get there? It turns out that these the graphs are a little bit different now in the way they analyze it and so forth. Whether we get into that very strong or super category is an open question, but the odds of having an El Nino during hurricane season are in the likely range, and perhaps a strong El Nino, which could end the season early because you notice the thing is getting stronger as we go through the fall season. So sometimes when you have an El Nino, you get an early end to hurricane season. But as we've seen the last few years, where we've had a big gap because the weather pattern has not been conducive to anything happening, so we may have 2 or 3 weeks with nothing happening in the middle of the hurricane season. It can be the opposite too, where you get a week or so where everything is like pristine for a moment and something can develop. That happened in 1992 with Hurricane Andrew. The season was extremely hostile to development, except for that time period in late August when Andrew developed. So just because we're talking about all this, holding down the numbers, and the numbers are generally, when you average all the forecast agencies around the world that have issued them so far, just slightly below normal. 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes, 2 Category 3 and above. And then here are the ones we use for normal from 1991 to 2020. So that's why those numbers are the way they are. But just because they're like that doesn't mean that you have no hurricanes that happen to develop in just the wrong place at the wrong time. And Bob, just one more thing I want to look at here. It's not germane to anything that we're directly interested in here in the U.S., but this is this new Google AI forecast. And to figure out how we're going to use this year, you say, wait a minute, I don't see anything going on there, is correct. But watch the dates up in here. Now we're going to go to next week, and now we're already next Wednesday. So still nothing going on, according to Google. And normally, if we had a cone, of course, that would only be 5 days. So that would take us into the middle of next week. But now, look, after that time period, well, what do we have? Well, we have a developing system, kind of a future cone, so to speak. So this is going now a week from next Monday. According to Google, there's a 90% chance that we'll have some kind of a development in that area heading toward Luzon, maybe the northern part of Vizcaya in the Philippines, and then another little system developing behind it here. This is a week from Monday. And look, we can go farther yet. And it takes it up into the South China Sea, up into China here. And then that other system was down in here. Anyway, that's a whole new thing coming for kind of future casting beyond the cone and so forth. And we'll see. The AI technology is incredible. We'll just see how it works. Bob, it's going to be an amazing year.
It is. And I'll tell you, I'm glad you brought up the AI because you actually spoke to NWS Director Ken Graham about the AI models for this hurricane season. This is what you guys are talking about. Listen.
Right.
Brian, I think we've only started to scratch the surface at using artificial intelligence when it comes to forecasting and meteorology. And it's interesting to look back at the 2025 hurricane season. Did you look at some of the stats? I mean, the artificial intelligence model, partnership with the National Weather Service and working with Google, it was interesting. That was the best model when it came to hurricane tracking in 2025.
Yes.
And you had mentioned that before last season, and we were talking about it behind the scenes. I think that's fascinating right there, Bryan.
It is. It is. And now there's, so last year we talked about these ensembles, and it's kind of technical, but the idea was last year we had 50 possible tracks from Google. This year we have 1,000 possible tracks from Google. And what that does is that covers all the possibilities. So we have higher confidence when they say 90% in this area, we have higher confidence that they've taken into account the outliers in that kind of distribution. And we'll add to that the European and the GFS. And I think through that, we'll get better forecasts both for track and intensity this year, at least.
I agree. I mean,
that's
the more
the hope, that's the plan.
Yeah, the more the merrier. I mean, the more data we can throw in and crunch those numbers and see where it's going to go, the better. Always great to talk to you, Bryan. Even though we're not quite in the Atlantic season, we're right now in the Pacific hurricane season. So we will talk to you a little bit later on. Fox Weather Hurricane Specialist Bryan Norcross.
Okay. All right,
good to
Bob.
talk
Have a
to you,
good
my
day.
friend. I'm going to talk to you all the way through at least November 30th. I know that.
Okay.